All right, I think we're recording now. Okay, guys, so we are going to start our 3-point. I would go ahead and just label this in your sketchbook. Perspective. Don't judge me. Sometimes I still have to sound out my words. Okay, so just a reminder that on 3-point, the only horizontal line we will have anymore is going to be the horizon line. We will no longer have vertical lines or horizontal lines other than that. Okay? So go ahead and start. I've got my ruler nice and flush with the edge of my paper, and I'm going to do my horizon line here. Okay? And we're going to do this a few different times just so that you get a good understanding. Okay. So 3-point perspective, it's going to give the appearance that you are looking at the corner of a building or object, but say you're standing at the base of a skyscraper and you're looking up at it, and as it gets up, it gets farther away. But we still have so we have a vanishing point up, and then we have a vanishing point to the sides. That's one way you can draw it, or you could look at it like you're maybe at an aerial view. You're looking down like you're in a helicopter or something, and you're looking down at the building. So you're going to still see kind of like the 2 vanishing points on the side, but then it gets smaller as it gets farther away from us going down. And I say building just because I feel like it's a good reference. You can apply this to probably other shapes and objects, but to me, I use this as a building sense for like backgrounds and things like that. So we are going to go ahead and place a vanishing point over here, a vanishing point over here, and then for the sake of this example, we'll do our 3rd vanishing point at the top. Okay? So every line that we do from here on out is going to be to one of those 3 points. Okay? I actually kind of wonder if I should move that 3rd vanishing point. I think I'm going to put it down here because I don't have as much sky for me. I guess I did my horizon line a little high. So we're going to still go ahead and start with that corner line of our building. However, it's going to be lined up with our 3rd vanishing point. Now, I'm not going to attach it, okay? I'm going to leave a space, but the line still needs to line up with it. So I'm going to do, say, let me go a little shorter. So I'm going to go there. So it's still a vertical line just because I have it right over my vanishing point. If I were to have done my corner line over here, it would be slanted, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and take a line here. I'm going to only take it as far as I want it just to save some of my erasing time. I'm going to do this here, over here too. Okay. Now, we'll go ahead and do the bottom. So this is similar to 2-point right now. What gets a little bit tricky is when I do the ending, when I end it. Okay, so again, I'm just saving myself. If you need to take your lines all the way to the vanishing point, you can. I'm just trying to save a step. So when I end it, instead of doing a vertical line like we would in 2-point, we're going to end it going to that 3rd vanishing point. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to line my ruler up, and I'm going to go from here to there. Like so. Okay, and then over here, I'm going to go from here to like so. So now, as of right now, it doesn't really look like a traditional building because it's slanted right now. So this would be more as if maybe I'm drawing a skyscraper, but I'm kind of like my eye level's here. I could see the horizon line as my eye level, but I'm still high enough to where it's fading away from me. Does that make sense? Is there any questions on that? We're going to do some more buildings or boxes. Okay. So, to kind of keep it, I think, to where we can understand this, I am going to sort of set this up like a downtown area with skyscrapers. So for that, I'm gonna continue this baseline since buildings downtown all kind of line up against the sidewalk. So this line I'm going to extend back just as like my baseline for my sidewalk. Can y'all see that okay with that light on? Do I need to, is that better? Okay, we'll do that then. So for my next building, if I want it to be lower, since it's going to be a shorter building, I'm going to see the top of it too. I don't see the top of this one because it goes above my eye level. But if you recall when we were doing our 1 and 2 point perspective drawings, actually, when you guys did 1 point, did you guys just do the room or did you do a downtown area? You guys did. I know we did a downtown area or castle for 2 point, right? Mm-hmm.
That's for both.
Okay, so I think it was last year I had them do a 1 point room. So our buildings, when it's downtown, they usually butt up end to end. So I don't really need to do this other line here. I'm just going to use that as my starting of my next building. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick, say, right here. Now I'm below the horizon line on this one, okay? So make sure you're below the horizon line on yours. I'm going to do a line going back to that vanishing point, okay? And then when I end it, I'm going to go ahead and bring it down to, I'm going to line it up with that vanishing point. So now it still looks like it's slanting away from us. Okay. So now I got to add this top side here. How would I do that? Do you guys know? You would take this corner and you take it to the opposite. So just like in 2 point, when we had it below our eye level, I don't know if I still have my example from yesterday, but when it's below eye level, we crisscross the corners to go to that. So really, if you, like I said, if you understand 2 point, 3 points not too bad, because you're still going to do all these lines the same. It's these lines that now go to that third vanishing point, all those vertical lines. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do another one below over here, just so we get like one going to the opposite vanishing point. So again, I've already got this line we're going to share, just like this building does. So I'm going to start by taking the top side. I'll try to make this one. I'll make this one a little shorter just for variety. So I've got that one going that way. And then how am I going to end this one? Do I end this with a vertical line or do I take it to a certain vanishing point? Does anybody want to tell me? So I know that you guys are understanding. Which one? Right, left, or bottom? The right one? Well, I'm talking about just ending it. The bottom one. But you are right. If you're talking about the top part, yes, you will take it to the right one. So you are not wrong. So I end it going to the third one. Go opposite that way. So you're kind of starting to see the illusion now that we're giving. Okay, so for the sake of just seeing if you understand this concept, go ahead and add maybe another one over here that's going to look even more slanted as it gets farther out this way. It's going to start feeling more and more slanted. But just so I understand that you've got the idea of this before we try doing one above our eye level, go ahead and add a taller one on one or the other side. I don't care. You could do both. But then I'm going to kind of come around and see if you've got it.
So make the next one above you. Okay. And then you just put this side. So when we go to this side, however, this comes that way. So this one is longer, it's probably like so we'll do this way. And then from this side, since this goes that way, you'll have to take the other side that way. So you kind of reverted back to the people system here. So you've got a vertical line here, you've got a vertical line here. Close that. Yeah. Yeah. And then I think you kind of did that on this. Yeah. So just if you all the vertical line that you said you know just that way. So you got the top part right. What messed up is that you just got your line connected. Because you can kind of see how mine does. So I was able to print it and just split it off. So that's kind of what happened. Go ahead and in this line, you don't have to go to the that line. But it would be kind of awkward for it too, just to keep that out. And then just kind of work with other two little borders. Don't worry about that other one. Just kind of do it all on the face off of that. So just leaving that space between the bottom and that first one is kind of the opposite of this. So you've got to do a long spot for what you want to do. So like you slanted it, like I was drawing it, but you just don't have that finishing point to all of the finishing points. Because then you want that to go 2 points just like this here, and not 3 points. So like all these should be slanted towards that finishing point. You got the 2 points set, correct? It's just that you won't have a vertical line anymore. All those will still go to one of the vertical. So even if you were using that top one, they would slip up that way. Okay? So I would just try to erase and then let's just try to continue out there for what we're doing right now. Okay, so like this one, this one, this line is like that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was slanting like the top lines.
Okay, so you got it. You got it. So now, you've got your third concept figured out. So the only thing that I could see that you went on was on these two, you took it kind of up this way. So this line and this line together like this.
That was way better.
Okay, so where's what we're doing? Okay, so here's what you have. You have your cylinder all the way down to you. Can you see how my dot at the bottom is soft? It was like down here. So let's pretend like you're not down here. So when you draw this side, it's going to be a little bit right. You know what I mean? So like all these lines that would normally be vertical, they're going to be sort of that further. Even if it's up here, it would point backward. Does that make sense? Yeah. Just try to finish out. You can just continue with this. Just try to finish out it's like right away. Okay. Did I check everybody? Yeah. Does that make sense now? Having it all in the spot. So we're going to do one, we're going to copy the second layer and we'll do one layer. Okay. So that's good. Yeah. So now here, like you see how we got this side of the building goes there, this side goes there, so that side goes down. Yeah. So that side was also going to go back there. And then when we push past it in the back, it should actually go back. So every line should go through one of the three. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my example. I think most of y'all got it there. So I'm extending up this taller building here. It should still slant to my vanishing point. Okay. I'm going to do angle back to that vanishing point. And then when I end this side, which I'm going to make it a little bit skinnier of a building, it starts to feel really weird. But as long as you know how to keep all of your lines to the correct vanishing point, it'll eventually, you'll see the illusion and it'll make sense. So I'm ending that building there, and then I'm going to slant this one back to there. I think where most people go wrong is just they either try to connect their objects to the vanishing points, or they still try to throw in like the vertical lines or horizontal lines like you would have in 1 and 2 point. So I've got a few people who are kind of fixing some mistakes. So while you're waiting, go ahead and try adding, just for kicks and giggles, some windows and doors. How would you do those differently? Yeah, they would say same rules. You would just follow the same rules. So if I had a big row of windows here on this building, and then like if I were to do different floors, they would all slant back towards that left vanishing point. I'm not worried about my spacing. Does that make sense? So really, something else to kind of keep in mind is when you do start adding like details and things start getting closer to a vanishing point, they start getting closer together. So if I was doing this one properly, this would be the biggest section, and then as they get slower and closer to that vanishing point, there's too big of a gap right there, but they get closer together because they get farther away. Okay. Those of you that were fixing stuff, you think you got it? I was doing an intersection. That road curved. That wasn't supposed to curve there. But, alright, so I think for the vanishing point being at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and move on. So, flip over, and we're going to do it. I'm going to do this time, just so I have a little bit more room on my paper. I am going to turn my page portrait style. Okay. I'm going to slap that horizon line on there. Actually, I'm going to slap my horizon line a little lower on my page because we're going to put that third vanishing point on the top this time, and I kind of think it's smarter to have more room on the top when you do that. Same thing if you were going to do it on the bottom, you'd probably want more room on the bottom. Is my crooked? My line's crooked. Can't have that. I guess it wasn't that much. Alright, so I'm going to put my vanishing point up at the top. Okay, and then I got one on each side here too. Okay, so now we're going to be drawing it like we're standing at the base of the skyscraper and looking up at it, and it's getting smaller as it goes up. So again, I'm going to line that corner of my building. I think it's nicer to start right below the vanishing point, but again, you don't have to. You could start that line off to the side. It would just be a slanted line from the get-go. But I'm going to make sure my paper or my ruler's lined up there, and I'm not going to connect my first line to that vanishing point. I'm going to leave a space. Okay? So let's say I'm going to do a line kind of like that. So I can still see I'm not connecting there. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to still kind of follow my 2-point rules with this just because I did start right below that vanishing point. I'm going to go ahead and take this line all the way back to the vanishing point just because I'm going to use this again as kind of like my sidewalk. So I'm going to extend that all the way back just so I don't have to extend it later. Now the top one, I know I'm gonna have a different heights again, so I'm gonna only take this one back however far I want it to appear wide. Okay. Now if we do have a wider paper, if we were to do this landscape style, because I have this shorter, these lines are going to be more drastic, but I'll have, more room to kind of go height-wise. So if we did this landscape style, these lines wouldn't be as drastic, just FYI. They'd be more of a gradual slope. But I wanted enough room to see my vanishing point. So when I end this, how am I going to end this building? To the top vanishing point. So I'm going to line my ruler up with my top vanishing point, and I'll take it down that way. On both sides. I erase my extra. Now, I didn't do this on the other side, but you're always welcome to, once you get a shape drawn, to erase that horizon line inside it, because it just, I think, helps make you see it a little bit better. So if I move too fast, y'all holler at me. If I were to add another building next to it, again, usually downtown areas or side by side, how would I start it if I were to add one, say, on this side? Shorter, if I was going to go shorter. So I'm going to share, again, we're going to share this line, and then I'm going to make it shorter, but not super short. I'm going to keep it a little bit tall. So I'm going to start by taking a line to this vanishing point. Okay. And then how am I going to finish this one out? What vanishing point will I take it to?
The top one.
The top one. Now, really, from this perspective, most of these buildings are going to all be above your eye level. I suppose not necessarily, but I didn't leave enough room down here. I could do like a little tiny thing below my eye level there. But okay, so over here, I'm going to do one that's a little shorter than that second one. I'm going to line my vanishing point up, my ruler up with my left vanishing point to create the top of it. And then I'm going to end it to that third vanishing point. Okay, so your job is to add another building on both sides. You decide if it's taller or shorter. And maybe if you feel like you've really got it, go ahead and add in some windows or something so I can check and see if you guys understand it. I would probably make one of the buildings taller than one of your second ones, just so I could see if you know how to end it, since you would see more of one side. So remember, as those buildings also get closer to those two side vanishing points, they're going to probably start getting a little skinnier. Not necessarily, I mean, you can have a massive building, but it will just still probably look pretty distorted if it's too big.
you'll just extend that line a little bit more essentially. And you will see the other side of it. We will have fun on this. Yeah. So then why did I add that on? And you kind of add something in a certain kind of way. Do it. Okay, I think, I know what you're thinking of. For the building, I'm like, go ahead and erase that. No, keep that one back there. So I think what you were thinking was, if this next building is taller, you would see a line like that going that way, and then you just come out with it. I think that's what you were thinking. So for this building in particular, and this building in particular, those buildings are done. Okay. Now, if you can add one more that's taller than the neighboring one, then we would see that other side that you would have to Does that make sense? Awesome. This is the building. Can you add this maybe? I want to see one taller, just so I can see how you would think it make it taller. Maybe up there. That's okay. So go ahead and make one more taller one next to it so I can see if you know how to end it when it's taller next to each other. Yes, you got it. Very good. Really struggling. Now, use that line to yeah. Not like that, no. So go ahead and start adding one more tall one, just so I can see if you know how to end that other side that would be better. Okay. So, I think everybody got it, but for those of you, for my distance learners, I'll go ahead and do one so that they can see. So if I'm going to extend up this side here so that my next building still looks like it's side by side, they're going to share one line there. And then I'm going to do a line to my opposite vanishing point for that side. And then I'm going to do one over here for this side. And then one up to my top vanishing point for this side. Now, if I don't want that to look as wide, I could go back in here and like into that if I wanted to. Okay. Is there anything that is still really confusing with 3-point perspective that you want to go over again? Now's your opportunity for me to review it. Okay. What part do you feel is the confusing part? The one next to it? Okay, so I'll go ahead and do another one over here. So,
Again, since the buildings are usually side by side downtown, they're going to kind of share a line. So since I want a taller building, I need to kind of extend that same line up a little bit higher. So I'm going to just line my ruler back up with that line as well as that vanishing point. And I'm just going to kind of extend that, make it taller. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and I think this time over here I did this side first, but I probably should have done that side first. So that's what I'm going to do on this side. So I'm going to take this one to the vanishing point closest to it. Okay. And then I'm going to end it going to the top vanishing point. Okay. Probably should have made that a little skinnier of a building, but that's okay. So now that I've got like the front side of the building, I would see, since it's taller than this one, I would see a little bit of this side too. So I'm going to do a line to the opposite vanishing point down here so that I would see that. So when if we were shading this side would probably be in shadow. And then this side, would probably be in shadow too. Not necessarily. Depends on where your light's at, but just for the sake of the lesson. Does that kind of help you see it? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll probably give you guys an assignment to do in your sketchbook. That is 3-point perspective. I don't know if I'll do it. There is a project I found that might be really cool to use with a 3-point lesson. I'm kind of in debate about that, but just FYI, there'll be something that you have to turn in that is 3-point perspective related, okay? So go ahead and clean up. Don't forget that you have your art history pre-AP. Your art history is due this Friday. And then AP people, you have one of your SI sketchbooks, okay? I would just probably do another note with sketches for this week, and then you can have your finished one at the end of the month.